Yo, what's up? This is The Edge. Once again, we're on Creative Life Podcast. And today I got one of my fellow Hall of Famers in the building. I got my boy Ty Law with me.
Yes, sir.
Ty, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me, man. Yeah.
Creative Life, it's about, we try to focus on 5 pillars. Mindset, self-mastery, financial freedom, community networking, and then lifestyle leisure. And I think that kind of covers everything. And we played this game. We did everything that you possibly could want to do when it comes to playing football, reach the highest of the high. But I like to always try to give insight to people that's trying to, or that's aspiring to be good business people or trying to be good athletes, like the things that it took. So when you look back on your career, coming from the U, different U. Michigan U.
Yeah, y'all say Michigan. Yeah, we say UM.
Oh, okay. But we the U and they UM.
Yeah, exactly.
He went to the Big Blue. But going to the Big Blue, what was it that separates you from everybody else?
I mean, for me, my mind was always, my biggest asset, because no matter if you were stronger, faster, tougher, higher ranked, when we get between those lines, I feel like I'm the better man. I'm going to be the better man today. And so I think mastering and manipulating myself, was always done because I wasn't the fastest. I wasn't the strongest. I knew that, but you couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to be the fastest or the strongest on that Friday in high school, that Saturday in college, or that Sunday in the pros. That day in particular, I'm that guy.
But when did you know that you was you went from Aliquippa, PA, and you was like, okay, well, you top rated?
Yeah, I mean, I was a parade All-American.
That was back in the day. That's when it was 5-star, 4-star.
Exactly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know about these stars. My son had to tell me that, oh, Dad, you was a 4-star. I'm like, I ain't never heard of that back then. So
I was a parade, but I ain't know nothing about it.
I ain't know nothing about that. But, really, for me, unlike, my son and our kids, it was like I had to do this. So it was a different type of mindset of pressure as far as this is where I seen my way out of the situation where I grew up in. You know what I mean? I wanted to make a better life for myself. I was fortunate enough to be able to see my uncle, living a lifestyle that you can only dream of. You know what I mean? So that's motivating.
Who's your uncle?
Tony Dorsett.
Tony, oh man,
Yes,
so you came up with TD.
So starting from the 8th grade, I was, go down with my cousin Anthony and just to see that, man, I've never seen a in the ground pool other than a public pool in my life.
Right.
I went to his house. He had a public pool at the crib. I said, oh, damn. I mean, you had instant motivation, right? But at the same time, I seen somebody that from my hometown looked like me, act like me, seen some of the same things that made it to this level. If you either did this or you either was a hustler or you was a dealer, you know what I mean? And that was, the struggle at times because it was easy to get your hands on to be able to go out there and make a couple of dollars yourself, whether, you wanted to get that pair of shoes or whether you want to try to impress a girl or something like that. I had to just take a step back and it's like, you know what? This ain't for me. I would rather do this than do that. If I'm going to put some hard work and some energy into something and, my mom, my dad, they were addicts. So why would I contribute to doing that?
But it's so easy because everybody's doing it.
Exactly, and that's what it was, where I come from. Like I said, I love my hometown, but what, drugs have done to my hometown and me personally, I said I had to find another way out. So I looked at it as I don't have a choice. So that was my mindset, regardless of how much athletic ability I had, because sometimes I can name 4 or 5 guys that were better athletes than me in my hometown.
Right.
But I had something that I wanted more than what they wanted, and that was to make it in sport. I feel like outside of this is my only way out to help my mom hopefully kick the habit or help my dad kicked the habit.
All right.
You know what I mean? So that was my motivation. And then once I feel like, you know what, I'm good at this. This is what I want to do. I just stuck with it. And you got to be able to go with the ups and the downs.
All right.
For when whether it's training, whether it's life, you know, shit happens.
But when you're in a situation like that, you're kind of like on an island.
Yes.
But you did have an example that was right in front of you.
Yeah, but I had an example for 2 weeks out of summer. So
yeah, I'm saying even the thought.
Yeah, right, exactly. I look forward to that, but okay, that was his reality. I just got to experience that for a couple weeks out of every summer. You know, I said that's that 2 weeks where I'm sitting there like, man, dreams can come true if you work hard and put the work in. You know, I'm going down there. It's like I'm working out with Eugene Lockhart. I'm seeing Too Tall Jones, Everson Walls, Tony Hill, Tony Dorsett. I'm sitting there like, man, all the guys that I looked up to, but guess what? They was out there getting it in. It wasn't just living and partying. It's like going to work out, going to train. So guess what? I got the opportunity to go work out with them.
So you got a chance to see it firsthand.
I had to see it firsthand. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you also got to step back. You going back to your reality. You taking your ass back to Aliquippa. So what are you going to do to get to that level? So, you know, for me, just to have that little inkling of like, okay, that jump starts you again because I can do it. I know I can. You know what I mean? And, you know, when I went to Michigan, everybody thought I was going to go to Pitt. Think about it.
Because that's where everybody
go in my area go. Darrell Reeves, Hall of Famer, one of our brothers. Went to Pitt, played behind me. His uncle, Sean Gilbert, went to Pitt. Tony Dorsett, my idol, went to Pitt. The other Hall of Famer. And I'm bragging a little bit, EJ, because we got four Hall of Famers. Mike Dicker went to Pitt. I said I wanted to do something different.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah. Aliquippa, the population is?
I think maybe 8,000.
8,000, and they got 4 Hall of Famers. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. No, it is. Like our high school team probably had like at one time 28 guys because we all play both ways. So we play up at the second to the highest thing in Pennsylvania because we're really like you go 1, double A, triple A, quad A, 5A is the biggest. We're playing in 4A now, but we're really a single A school as far as population wise. So when we go up playing against teams that got 60, 70 guys that has a whole offense, a whole defense, but everybody play, but you ain't have no choice but to play both ways. I never came off the field. So that's just the type of grind and mentality that we got. We going out there, we hunting at all times. You know, we played football, that was life. We played basketball, you know, to stay in shape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Something to do,
you know, just to keep your skills up, you know what I mean?
And to have 4 Hall of Famers, there's only 300 and something Hall of Famers in the world, but y'all got 4 from Aliquippa. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So fast forward. Okay, you went to Michigan, went to UM, MU.
Yeah, you know.
You went to Michigan.
There's an argument.
You went to Michigan, then you end up going to the Patriots.
Yeah.
You know, and we had many battles. We had a lot of battles. And when you got to the Patriots, you know, y'all had a certain way y'all did things. And y'all had a standard. But y'all was winning. You know, so when you start looking at the things you was doing at the Patriots versus the thing, or you start saying you're coming from a certain place in college, and then you get to the pros, it's like, what are the things that were different or that you had to adjust to?
You know what? The adjustment for me, the real chalk edge is, it was never a hard adjustment for me because where I came from in Aliquippa, everything else was easy. You know what I mean? So when I went to, you know, Michigan and they doing their little rah-rah there, I mean, the competition, of course, you stepped up, but the game and the mental part of it is like, oh, this ain't shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, coaches say a little
you
something.
You got a deeper purpose.
Man, look, bro, look. I thought, man, at 7, 8 years old, I thought my name was motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, little motherfucker, little motherfucker. That's what it was. So when they coming up to talking in Michigan, I'm like, oh, that's it? That's all you got? So when I get to the pros, it was even worse. I'm like, I had Bill Parcells, you know, he got some stuff. He come at you hard, but I was so, you know, prepared for that. There's nothing that you can do. And coaches and Bill Parcells, who drafted me, he was a master manipulator of the mind. He tried to get up under in your head, your skin. You couldn't do that to me. This was ingrained in me. It's nothing that you could say or do that's going to affect me mentally to come out here and play this game. And that's what they try to do. So the transition was just catching up with the speed of the game. It was nothing else. Like mentally, I was already prepared for where I come from.
How important is the mental aspect? Because if you're already mentally there, now you just do the work. So how important would you, if you're telling somebody younger or telling somebody that's going into this new space that didn't have that upbringing or didn't have that instilled in them, how important is that mental aspect?
It's very important because even when you're mentally prepared, it's going to be a point where you're going to get humbled. Because even, when we make it to the level that we made it at, we were probably pretty good and probably that guy starting from a very early age. You was Edgerrin James, they see you in the pros, but you was EJ at Pop Warner. You was EJ.
Yeah, you've been doing your thing.
You've been doing your thing.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a humbling experience. And if you're not right mentally, because somebody else is going to come up there, hey, he can play too.
Right.
There's also this wide receiver that can go out there and weigh your ass out. When you don't have that great game, when you go out there and now you got to see somebody like a Marvin Harrison, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, that's going to be the hard part is when you get humbled, but you got to fight through it. And if you're mentally strong, physically, once you get to a certain, everything is going to balance out. When you get to the level that we played at, it balances out. Everyone's good. Everyone run a 4-4-4-3. You know what I mean? That's normal shit. So what is going to separate me from the next guy? I tell myself, you know what? I got to be more physical now. And I think kids nowadays, and I said the guys that get separated in the league because we're all physically matched, the mental comes to play again, comes in play. And I was able to do that. So if I can't outrun you, I can damn sure out physical you. I can damn sure outthink you. You know what I mean? And that's how I made up for the lack of 4.2 speed that a lot of guys I played with have. You know what I mean? Do you want to fight with me all day? Hell no, I'm a fighter. I'm from Aliquippa. I think of myself, I'm from Aliquippa. Not saying, to me, in my head, no one grew up or dealt with what I dealt with, even though I know that's not true.
Right.
But that's the mind games that I've always played with myself. You know what I mean? You're not me. At least that's what I told myself, you know what I mean? So it's very important, EJ, that if you don't got the mental, you can have physical all damn day.
Yeah. No,
if you ain't got that mental toughness, you will not last as long as we last, or you won't be that Hall of Famer. Because you can get to the league on pure athleticism alone. You can get to the league just because you was a freak of nature. Man, you 6'5", 260 pound, run a 4.7. Oh, you're going to get to the league just on that.
Yeah.
But can you stay?
Yeah, you already have the measurables.
Right.
So like, how do you deal with adversity? Like everybody, at some level, no matter what, during the season, especially if you're playing the pros, you're always gonna have adversity knocking at the door. And I've always had things that I would do or how I would reset to get myself prepared, but to kind of put things in perspective. And I always kind of came out of every adverse situation. And then I look at some people, they just can't come out of it. But to become one of the best, you have to be able to deal with that, because you have to expect it also. So how do Ty Law deal with adversity?
Sit there by myself, put on some damn music, and you got to really look at yourself in the mirror and you analyze what I could have done better, or, I never stay too long on why me, you know what I mean? Because for everything that happened, there's a reason to it. You just figure that out. What could I have done better? I never try to put the blame on anyone else. I always take a look in the mirror and say, what could I have done better? Whatever the situation is, whether it's playing football, whether it's dealing with my kids, whether it's business, which, being an entrepreneur, what could I have done better? You know what I mean? And you're always learning, but I always try to look at myself first before I point the finger at anything else. And it usually come down to something that I goddamn did. So point the finger at myself. So I deal with everything that way. And it could be, an asset that I have that makes me who I am, or it could be to a fault at sometimes. I don't know. But I always tend to deal with things internally first to see, so I won't be that guy to, because a lot of people blame everybody else on their failures, but they always credit themselves with their success.
Right. No,
and it's amazing to me. So I try to say whether success or failure, because I think you can learn so much from failure. To say that I've won everything or everything I did in life now I won, that's not the case. But I'm going to take something, from that loss, which some people say a loss. For me, it's a lesson. I say I try to not really take no L's.
Right.
Hey, it's a lesson. It's not a loss. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, it's funny you say that, because usually when you see people that have grinded it out and they're actually successful, you never see them point the finger or blame. You always see people who probably got lucky or probably had a one-off situation, but people that actually grind things out and actually really understands the whole, they're always going to look and point the finger at self, going to reassess self, and they're going to come back and say, how can I do this better? How can I do that better?
Right.
And you rarely see people of your caliber or a Hall of Fame caliber or successful business people, you rarely see them pointing the finger, because they get right back to work.
Right.
And those are some things that I think a lot of people disregard. They don't understand the power of self, the way I can just let me do as much as I can do.
Right.
And then buy enough time with the L's, because it's about stamina.
Yeah.
If you got stamina,
absolutely.
Eventually you're going to win if it's good.
Exactly. And how long can you, because we want certain things on the field. Sometimes certain things that's out of your control. So why get caught up in putting that much energy into something that you can't control? What I can control is the product that I put out there on the field. What I can control is how much work I'm going to put in when the lights ain't on, so I can shine bright when the lights is on. You know what I mean? And I've done that since high school, when everybody was out there, kicking it. And don't get me wrong, I came in, I'm going to hang out and I'm going to drink with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? I'm going to get this work in first. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sacrifice, what I'm doing. I've heard so many times that, players blame the coach. And it's some asshole coaches out there. They might play favoritisms and things like that, but you know what? You can't control what that coach gonna do. So every opportunity that you do get in, you got to make sure you make it count. I hear so many people that I talk to, young kids, they was like, it's always the coach. The coach don't like me this, the coach don't like me that. Yeah. Go take some shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm tired of hearing about the coach. I mean, the coach. That is people's favorite excuse for not being successful or why they're not on the field. No. If you was that good, because if a coach really want to win,
exactly,
he will find a way
to
put you on the field. They need you to be
out there. They need you more than you realize.
Exactly.
I think that's last time I said, they don't realize, like, this man needs you more than you actually think.
Exactly, because guess what? Especially when you talk about the level that we're at, and we're talking about college, and there's a lot of money being involved. I can see it more so in some high school level, because people basically out there volunteering, and they might pay favoritism to their cousin, their son, or whatever. Well, these guys got to eat too.
Yeah, I look at it, like,
in college,
if somebody's playing favoritism, that means because you're too close to the person. Separate yourself.
Exactly.
And once you make it obvious, it's real clear. Your teammates, the other parents, even the parent of the child is going to say, hey, look, I got to accept the fact that, mine, he's not there.
Yeah,
and then they recruit you to actually help you become better.
And I think I had a situation like in high school, and I was, that guy. But we had a guy that came in, and he was a better running back, because I played running back, wing back, receiver, did a little everything. But running back, that was my thing. I wanted to be Tony Dorsett, Tony Dorsett. That's what everybody was calling me, when I was young, 7, 8 years old. I realized real quick that I can't be the next Tony Dorsett. He one of one.
Yeah.
But I can be the first Ty Law. You know what I mean? So I started focusing on that, what I could do. But then we had a running back come in that I really looked at myself and I said, man, it's better for us to be the 1-2 punch. He needs to be the main running back. He is a better running back than me.
And you was able to see it, but you was honest with yourself.
I was honest with myself, man. Man, he better than me, man. Let him tote that thing. Get behind it. I need to be more out in open space. Throw me the ball here, come in. And, I averaged more yards a carry than he did. But guess what? He was still a better, pure running back.
But you found what was best for you.
I found what was best for me, and I let the coach know that, man, this is the guy. You don't got nothing for me, because at the end of the day, it's about winning. I know I'm going to be on the field. I know I'm going to impact. And sometimes we got to be honest with ourselves and say, okay, what it is. Later in my career, you know what I mean? You have your egos and things like that, but guess what? I'm older, man. I can't do the same things that I used to do.
Honest.
I'm being honest with myself. And I think as you grow, as you evolve, if you're really trying to win, I think an unselfish, person and an unselfish player, you're going to win more. And that's how we were able to win it in New England.
Right.
We didn't have a bunch of stars. We didn't have a bunch of everything. Now, of course, Tom Brady wasn't Tom Brady then, but man, that was the most unselfish group, EJ, really, that I ever played against. And I've been in other locker rooms.
Y'all had a team full of players that they played together.
That played together, because we wasn't, as, so to say, talented from on paper, but when you get us together collectively,
everybody was on the same page.
Everybody was on the same page, man. And that's what I take into life and business right now. I got to be that leader. I got to be that guy up front, but I can't have the success that I'm having right now by my damn self.
So
I need a damn team.
If you take sports, and then let's transition to the business side, because me and Ty, we always talk about business, and Ty has his vodka, and he's been pushing it, and we're at the Hall of Fame, and he made sure that he positioned, he used the resources, and that's very important. So when you talk about being a business person, and you're showing that the relationships matter,
yes, right,
and you're actually going forward with, say, okay, look, I'm a Hall of Famer. Let me make sure everything you drink. When you call me, you're like, hey, get off that Tito's.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
damn right.
Put this in my club. Put this in that. So, but those are the things that you recognize that's part of being proactive.
Yes.
And it's also you putting out a good product.
Right.
So where does that, where did you get up on that when it came to from sports to business and being an entrepreneur?
Because I think relationships is key. When we started winning, because remember, when I came into the Patriots, I was fortunate. Second year, the Patriots wasn't very good. First year, we didn't even sniff the playoffs. Second year, we went to the Super Bowl, then we backslid. And until we got the relationships right in the locker room and clean out all the old stuff and we created the culture, that's when we started winning. So when I retired and I started my first business, which I've sold successfully. So this is actually my third go around being an entrepreneur, because I've always said in the NFL it's a dirty game, because I got cut 3 times. I'm in the Hall of Fame. I got cut 3 damn times. Everybody say, he got released and they making, damn it, I got fired. I got fired 3 times. There ain't no bullshit. I got fired. I got fired after going all pro. So how does that make sense? So for me, being an entrepreneur, I'm doing all the hiring and firing. Now, that was my attitude coming into it, but I realized that, you know what? The hardest thing that I ever had to do as an entrepreneur, EJ, was come to somebody and be like, hey, gotta let you go. I thought I was gonna look forward to that shit, bro. Because I got fired 3 times. Oh, goddamn, my turn. I'm in the driver's seat. My turn. But man, that was very hard to do. So for me, understanding relationships is the key to success. You know what I mean? Relationships with your banker, if you need a banker, with a financial, where you're getting a line of credit, having a relationship with vendors. You know what I mean? That's the way you get it. I have to have a relationship now. In the game I'm in right now, when you're talking about the Diageos, the Bacardis, the Brown Farmers, those big guys, they control the market. So in order for me to be able to be successful, I need partners. I need people like, hey, you got clubs, you got restaurants. Hey, EJ, I got a great product. Because guess what? They're going to come on the back door and say, hey, they can give you something that I can't give you.
All right.
I can't give you the incentives that they can give you, because they got hundreds of millions of dollars to work with. They got budgets to go out here and do this. So I have to be boots to the ground, relationship based, to be able to crack in. Right. And I understood that from, early on getting into the game. But my success of my other businesses was built on the same thing. You cannot do it alone. We was able to work out ourselves. And as long as I did what I had to do, guess what? We might not be good, but damn it, Ty Law's still one of these corners.
Right.
If I was selfish, and really, we had to have some type of selfishness to us as the game that we play, because they're always looking, here come a new guy coming at you every time.
Right.
But bruh, man, let me tell you something. If I'm in shape and I know I can ball, I know I can cover that receiver, I'm good. In business, no, it don't work like that. You can't depend on yourself.
You need a team.
You need a team. You need to know somebody to know somebody. And if you don't figure that out and try to do everything on your own, you're not going to be successful. So I just kind of, figured that out as I was going, from the NFL to my first entrepreneur journey when I opened up the trampoline parks. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
You just jumped out there to try something?
I said it was something different. It's something that I thought I could market. It was something that I understood because I did my research. I was going around and I didn't even tell my family. I go to Florida. I'm going to go to the trampoline parks. I went to Texas, New York, California, to different trampoline parks. I hope ain't nobody think I was no damn pervert or nothing going to look at kids and shit. I was just doing some research I'm just doing about research on what this business is. So, and then I came back and said, okay. And I was about to sign an agreement with another franchise, another company. And I said, okay, they got the system, franchise, and there's nothing wrong with franchise. A lot of us, because we have cash, that we can go into a business that's already established. Okay, let's run their system and we'll do it in our area. And I was going to say, this company, I was going to do it throughout the New England area, and I would have owned that territory. Right. Man, as soon as he found out it was Ty Law, the football player, all of a sudden, because I ain't going in, I ain't tell him nothing. You know what I mean? I'm just going in, somebody does this, but he found out I was me, and all of a sudden the price skyrocket, and all the terms was totally different. The whole pitch. As soon as I was about to sign, I said, you know what? I can do this my damn self. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. So I started, I think a launch instead. Because of course you had the Sky Zones, you had the Altitudes, the Urban Airs, you had all these different companies out there, and it was money to be made. But I said in New England, I said I have a name there. I have some good credibility there. So if I can't win it,
go with the alias.
And guess what? I'm going to start here in New England. Hopefully, I kept a good name, that they'll give me the support, and that's what I did. And everything that I do at this point, that is home. If you can't win at home, you can't win nowhere. You know what I mean? And the relationships from football and the success that I had and the name that I kept, that's what's making me be successful today. Why would I come way somewhere else to start a business?
All right.
And I don't have no credibility there.
Right,
but you still owe the people that support you to put out a great product.
Yeah,
especially
they already know you.
Exactly. So, for me, everything that I do, if I don't understand it, I always put it back in the football terms, in the business part of football or the approach, just so I have a better understanding going in so I can absorb it. You know what I mean? I get pitches all the time, but starting, it's always a football analogy in there, bro.
Yeah,
because that's
football
what I
is
did.
life.
Exactly,
Exactly. Usually that's all we know. That's what we do. But it's crazy when you said when you was talking about when they found out who you are.
Yeah.
That's and you see that a lot in business, even in real estate or anytime you're making a purchase or anything. Like what are some of the tactics you have to do, which you shouldn't have to do, to say, okay, I'm going to do a business. I need to go and not let them know I'm Ty Law. Yeah. Like how do you fight that? Because that happens on every level. If you go buy a car, you go buy a house, you go do anything, you got to always kind of have an alias or put somebody in front of it. Like why?
It's messed up because the first thing people think is they look at dollar signs. They think that, and that's why I do what I do for, the Hall of Fame. It's like, I give proceeds of every bottle I sell, donate back to the players' fund. You know what I mean? But just because you play professional sport, that does not mean you made millions of dollars.
Right.
But for me, it's Tawan. When I have to sign anything, it's Tawan Law. People don't know that. If I put Ty Law, it's like him. But my birth name and my government name is Tawan Law.
Your name was Tawan.
Yeah, it's Tawan Law. So
what
it's like,
Tawan?
Oh man, where you gonna start that shit now? Where you gonna start that? Yeah.
You start this thing over. Welcome to a Creative Life. I'm sitting here with Tawan Law, man.
Yeah, bro. I'm trying to tell you. So that right there, but it can also come in as an advantage.
Right.
Because if you like what we did on the field, and if you're a fan and you want to let us in the room, I know, see, and I'm not that ignorant. Like some people are ignorant edge that understand that. Do you really think that you got into this room or you got into this meeting or you got this opportunity without being
Who
Ty
you are.
Law or Edgerrin James? So I
Right.
embrace it. But once I get in the room, you're going to understand that I'm more than just an athlete. I can sit there and talk with the best of them. I know who I am. If we're talking about business, I'm going to be able to keep up with that. I'm not coming in here because guess what? I can't run. I can't jump. I can't do none of that shit we used to do.
All right.
But I can, hold my own if it's something that I'm interested in, if it's something that I'm going to do. But if you're going to let me in the room,
All right.
so what I did on the football field, damn it, I'm coming in.
Yeah. Get there first. I think.
Right.
We earned that. Whatever it takes to get in the room.
Exactly.
That's the first step. Because that's the hardest part.
Right.
Hardest part is getting in the room.
Right.
And I see the way you maneuver with this thing. It's like I haven't been nowhere around here that I haven't been drinking this every day that I decided to drink.
Right.
Because that's the only thing that they're actually providing. And so it's the fact that you came in, because we started a couple years ago.
Right.
Now, I think this is my 4th year coming in a row. And we didn't start out having this.
Exactly.
How many years this make?
This for in the Hall of Fame for me, I came in 2019.
No, it's about 4 with
well, this is actually, I started off with another brand. And I was in a vodka brand, and I was an equity partner, and face, and had some ownership, but it wasn't mine, and we had some philosophical differences, and there's certain things that you can't say to me and you can't joke about, and I got the hell out of Dodge and left a lot of money on the table. Didn't even fight it, but what I did is I was doing that for 2.5 years, EJ, and I look at it as a 2.5 year internship because now I soaked up so much knowledge about this game and how it works. I said, you know what, I'm gonna put my own cash up. No loans, no nothing. I put my own cash up. So that's why I also hustle and I work my ass off because this is mine. I'm not gonna wait for nobody else to do it.
No partners.
No, and one partner, Julius Grant. He's a 30+ year industry veteran, former CEO Bacardi, and we're 100% black owned, which is very rare, especially in this game. I don't go beating the chest about, okay, black owned this. No, it's not about that because mine is for everybody to have a quality product. But I think, at times you need to emphasize that, we're doing something that is very rare, especially when it comes to the spirits industry. You know what I mean?
Right.
You've seen, Ciroc have certain success, but the reality is that they didn't own none of that.
Right. Yeah.
There was no equity in that. You know what I mean? Made a lot of money.
I mean, when I look at those situations, I look at which game do you want to play?
It's a lot of time, a lot of commitment because you're fighting an uphill battle because in the spirits industry, it's a 3-tier system. You have your control states like we're in one right now where they control what comes in, what comes out. They'll limit you. Ohio is a control state, but most of the other states, about 10, 12 control states out there. But when you're talking about most of the states where it's a distributor, think about this. If you're Diageo that owns all these brands, the biggest out there in the world right now, and then next when you come to Bacardi, and they own all these brands that if you're the distributor is making millions and millions of dollars off you because of your portfolio and what you'll be able to provide them. So I come in as a small guy. You're not making no money off of me. You got to cater to them. And I'm thinking, put myself in their shoes. Wait a minute. You just made $15, $20 million off me. Who was this guy? Why did I lose that account?
Loyalty? So
where's the loyalty? You're
right. They kind of monopolize the situation.
It is, and it's very much so like that. The NFL now is they never had. Think about it, they never had spirits, alcohol, ever. It was always beer, beer. You never seen a liquor commercial until a couple years ago, because Diageo came and wrote that check.
All right, it's business.
It's business. They wrote that check, but it's also they wrote that check. Guess whose portfolio's in the stadiums?
All right.
Diageo.
Yeah, but they're playing the big game. They're playing
exactly.
It's a money game. So
it's a money game, but you got to
get in where you fit in.
Get in where you fit in, understanding the game. But I'm trying to earn the respect and earn the loyalty of the customers by being out there every day, Because I'm out there with a cooler in the middle of the street like a used car salesman, brother. I'm out there carrying my cooler in the streets of Boston and New England. Hey,
Guerrilla marketing.
Yeah, you look like Ty Law. I be like, I get that a lot.
I am Ty Law.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I'm Taiwan.
Yeah, exactly. But putting in the grind and the work, EJ, is very important in anything you do, and that's all I know how to do is grind. So
that comes from the way you play sports.
Exactly, and I tell my kids, and I tell kids all the time when I talk to them that I didn't wake up and become a Hall of Famer in the morning.
Put in that work.
Yeah, I put in that goddamn work, so I can hold my head up, and I'm proud because I got to this point by putting the work in. And when I sold my company launch, I put the work in because why? Right. I was behind the counter. I was out there singing happy birthday to the kids. The kids didn't even know me. They knew. They knew who I was? The parents knew me. The kids like, you played with Tom Brady? That's who I was, the guy that played with Tom Brady. And guess what? Guess what? I own what you guys are doing. I put up the cash to do it. Like I said, I didn't even take a loan out on that. I put up cash to do it because I always bet on myself. And I love when you talk about creating a life. I've been following you for a long time. I love what you're doing. You creating a life that you want to live.
That.
And my thing is, I'm betting on myself. I'm gonna always bet on myself. So I can't count on the distributor that's going to build my brand. I got to build my brand. So the relationships is very important. When you're talking about the Hall of Fame. Guess what? It's a whole lot of people don't like Patriots. So I go to, if I go down to, Miami, which I just opened up the Florida market. Guess what? F the Patriots, man. Fuck y'all. But guess what? I got EJ here with me though. I got Dan Marino right here. I got Warren Sapp. You know what I'm saying? It's the relationship. So if y'all don't like me, you might. I bet you like them. And that's the same thing with every other city. I'm going to Minnesota. Damn, you think I ain't picking up the phone, calling Randy Moss, John Randall, Chris Carter?
Yeah.
Dallas. I'm talking my uncle. I mean, it's like it's what we have to do for each other. We should be supporting your podcast. So when you make the thing earlier, but we talked about not to put on here, but. Man, you shouldn't have to do that. We're going to support you anyway.
All right.
You feel me?
All right.
That's what the brotherhood is supposed to be. Exactly.
Supposed to roll over. And then when you talk about business, football, there's so many parallels, and usually as athletes, we use those parallels to kind of get us through when it comes to business.
Yes.
And I always say that, man, if you take, give me a group of athletes and put them in a company, I think if you put egos aside, that's the difference.
That's the problem.
You put egos aside, you're going to have a successful company because all you know is depending on somebody else.
Right.
But the difference is everybody is the man in some respect. And that's where I see right there would be a disconnect.
Okay. I mean, you think about something, how powerful that we could be, as players and as men who've played the game and made a good amount of money. If we did get together to do something collectively, it's just hard because of egos. Right. I know how to step the hell aside,
But everybody don't know how.
Right. But so, man, somebody put me a question about my vodka, because I called Tom, right? So on his ceremony, I ain't waiting for nobody else. I'm gonna call Tom Brady my damn self. Hey Tom, man, we ain't drinking no damn Tito's at your enshrinement, bro. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. And look, and I love his story, and I'm not hating on Tito, but I'm just saying that's the one that everyone knows. He's the call. I mean, his story is absolutely amazing. To go from sleep in his car, homeless. I've read everything. I try to read the background stuff. So you gotta respect it, but. As my teammate, my guy in New England, hell,
I need you to have my stuff.
Exactly. And I say it, candidly, and when I do my events up there, and like, how many people met Mr. Gray? Who is it? Yeah. I mean, y'all know till y'all drink it. How many people met him? Nobody raised their hand.
Right.
I'm like, damn it, Ty. I'm right here. Ty, Tawan, I'm right here. So just being engaging like that has been very, helpful for me. But that's my personality anyway, man. And I think
that's a good approach. It's like it's a realistic approach. Right. And then it's like you're willing to step into a new career.
Yeah.
And that's tough.
That's
tough, right?
Right, because think about it. The football don't work as much. They might know you, but now you can be somewhat as a disadvantage in certain groups because what do you know about business? Like people think about people that been in business their whole life that always wanted to be an athlete or may have been an athlete at one time but never made it to that level. And let's say they're uber successful. They're coming in and now we want something from them, whether it's some knowledge, not necessarily money, but we want some tidbits of knowledge from them. Some people just have an ego to where it's like, now they can't play football
just
no
an
more.
Athlete.
Yeah, just an athlete. So
that's the thing that went on was to just shut up and dribble, just play an athlete.
Have you found that for yourself because you're doing all these different things entrepreneurially and being a great father, putting your kids in the best position to win. Have you stepped in any roadblocks because of a perception you might have? Because I remember your speech, man. It was incredible. Like people had a perception of you, the way you wore your hair and the golds and all that stuff, man. In business, has it been an easy transition or hard for you?
For me, it's been pretty easy because of the things that I've done. I've always done things that requires me, and I really don't need much help from other people. And then I go into these industries that don't require somebody saying, hey, I'm gonna help you. I get information. I do a lot of research. And I'm gonna get all the information I can, and I'm gonna just take my time. And I think time has been the best thing for me. So I never had to rush, or I never had to just get into something to where it was a pressing situation to where if I don't do it by this time or I don't do it by that time, I just let everything just kind of fall in place. And that's kind of been my approach because I never wanted to get in a spot where I had to depend on somebody. Like real estate, you can get into real estate. Anybody can get in real estate, but do your homework, make sure you have your financials in place, and take a shot at it. And then once you learn about the real estate aspect, then you start learning about the different businesses, and you have to be willing to wait the things out. So the thing I've learned more is about partnerships and partners. Like every partner's not good for you. There's a lot of bad people out there. So you have to be willing to be involved and make sure that you understand, like, if I can't do this by myself for the most part, and I'm going to become dependent on somebody else, I don't think I want to be involved in that.
And I think, just from an investment standpoint, so you can be, an entrepreneur, you take care of things your own, eventually you're going to need some help. But when you're talking about investing, somebody might have a great idea. And if I want to invest, I'm not investing in the idea because the idea it's 1,000 damn ideas out there. Everybody got a great idea. You have to invest in the person because this is what you do. But can I count on you to grind, or do I think that you're into it and you love it this much that you're going to grind the same way I would, especially if I can't bring that to the table? And I also look at, before I do something, am I adding any value other than my money? If that's the only thing that I can offer, usually, and I've missed a boat before because I didn't think I was bringing nothing to the table to offer outside of my money. And if I give you my money, don't know you on the idea, you might not be able to execute this plan. You know what I mean? So it is a very hard, thing to do because some people just like to invest and say they're entrepreneur. You're an investor. That's not an entrepreneur. You know what I mean?
But I can't, for me, you have to set up rules. I think everybody has to set up rules for themselves and their situation. I don't think one set of rules is perfect for the whole, but maybe perfect for the person. And for me, I would never, I have a rule. If you say, hey, EJ, I'm gonna do this vodka, but I don't have the money, that means I can't do business with you. Like you have to have at least half of the money.
You got to bring something to the damn table.
You have to have at least half the money in there. Because that's you betting on yourself. And I like people that bet on themselves. And I like people that they say, I really don't need you to be in this. But I see value in you because of who you are. And so they're gonna open the door. And of course it's gonna require money.
Exactly.
So you put up your part of the money. They have the rest of the money, and they see your value in you as the person versus the money, because the money is misleading. So once you get the money squared away and you got all that, that out the way. Now it comes down to the product. Is the person just trying to have a quick lick?
Yep,
Or
exactly.
how is this thing gonna play out?
Right.
And they can eat, and then
and where's the money going? It's like if
and
it's
they can
going
weave
to,
you out.
Exactly.
They can just ease you out
Yep.
because they just utilize you for your money and say, here's your X and X percent on it.
Exactly. And that's what they do is they get more people the next run, dilute you out. So for me, it's like if you ain't got your language right, you know, that's where the clauses come in at. And that's where a lot of people fail in business. Even, you know, when I had got out of both, when I sold out, you know, to my partners, my language was right in the beginning. You know, when I came in as an equity partner, you had this established way before I got here. But my language is right. That's how I was able to get out of what I had to get out of with no repercussions. The next day, when you gonna say what you said, when it was a racial undertone to it, I got the hell out of Dodge. You know what I mean? I cannot work with that because
stood on business.
Yeah, I stood on business, and guess what? And probably lost, but at the end of the day, I gained because now I gained a lot of knowledge, and now I can say, you know what? I'm gonna come out with my own.
Now you didn't just leave it like so. All that wasn't for nothing. It was like you said
Exactly,
earlier. You said
exactly.
it was like a 2.5-year internship.
Right, and I took a year off to create from everything from the packaging, you know, going through the molds, going to the flavor house myself, you know, to get the flavors that you taste today with from the grilled pineapple and the tropical. What's the story behind all that? You know what I mean? Because my mom used to make grilled pineapples. That's what it was. You grill them, it changes the flavor profile. And I was surprised that it was no grilled pineapple on the market. I was like, what? So guess what? Everybody know what pineapple is. Okay, but guess what's 1,000 pineapple vodkas? But how many grilled pineapples? When I've seen it was 0 grilled pineapple, and when people that I said there was the opportunity there. The tropical came from, when I was able to afford it, I ain't going nowhere but the damn Bahamas or somewhere with a beach on it.
Caribbean.
Because I ain't never been nowhere. I'm going to the Caribbean. So what do they do with vodkas? Mix it up and make it something tropical. So I said, you know what? I'm going to cut out the bullshit. And instead of saying peach, raspberry, this and all these flavors out here, I'm just going to go tropical. So you can just put an ice cube in it and rock with it. If you want to drink it in a mixer, great. But it's a conversation piece as well. That's what, my thinking was, behind it. That's why I'm not going to come out with 1,000 flavors. I ain't trying to be Baskin Robbins and have 31 flavors. Damn it. I got grilled pineapple and tropical that covers the board. And of course, the pure. But if I just come out with a vodka, pure vodka, that's the most competitive. That's why people say, Ty, you crazy. That's the most competitive spirit in the industry, vodka. Gin, bourbon, whiskey, go to any liquor store, I guarantee you, it's fact that the vodka aisle is always the biggest. Why? Because you can make it out of so many things. You can make it out of grapes, some people make it out of cheese, corn, starch, wheat, anything potato, rye. You can make it out of so many things. Okay, so
what's the difference between that and the moonshine?
Depends on the ingredients in the distillation. You know what I mean? So if you're talking about, okay, what's this moonshine made it, which get you damn sick, because they ain't had the best distillation when that, came out, because mine is 6 times distilled. And then how are you filtering it? Mine is charcoal filtered. Some people do copper kettles, which, as a Tito's thing is, you know what I mean? Some people are using potato. It's a different way. It's about telling the story, but at the end of the day, when you put my liquid to the lips, and that's why I say liquid to lips, I just got to get you to try it. It's going to change the way you think about it because they put so much money into, this is the name. What do you think about before when you go to the club? Grey Goose. What do you think about every day now when you go get a vodka? The only thing that people say is Tito's. When you become the call, you become the man.
All right.
I'm just trying to get my foot in the door,
and
I got to grind and get it up there. So it give you the difference of levels, but I'm a rookie again in this. It's levels to us as Hall of Famers, to a guy that's coming in the league, or a guy just playing in the league. It's a different level. He sells 10 million cases a year. Sell 10,000. I ain't there yet. First year.
But you got the grind in you. So,
but that can
keep grinding.
A lesser person that can discourage you and be like, shit, you got 10 million?
Yeah.
You know, then you got the Stoleys, these guys been around for 30 years. Tito didn't wake up overnight. Tito started in 1997.
All right. No, so they put in the time and they put in the work.
They put in the time and put in
that's
the
what
work.
It requires.
So if Tito can do it, damn it, Ty can too. That's how I look at it. You know
Taiwan.
what I mean? Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
We just got a master class on liquor. We just got a master class on what it takes to kind of do vodka.
What is it about Tito's for you? Because you told me that your drink was Tito's. Why is that compared to all of the vodkas?
For me, it was when you're out drinking, like the Grey Goose, it was giving me headaches, and the Belvedere wasn't really doing. I wasn't really a heavy drinker, so I'm a real sensitive drinker. And then when I started with the Tito's, it was Tito's or Kettle, and I think they had, I had my cousin. He was going through something with from a medical issue, and so they told him so they broke down which the percentages and all the stuff that he needed as far as drinking. And so I just took it from there, and then I actually tried the Tito's. So it would be Tito's or Kettle that made me say, okay, you know what? I don't really feel a certain type of way. And then the availability. I think that's the other thing. Because for me, it's more of, you can say, okay, yeah, I'm going to drink, what's Corvin's? How you say it?
Corvus. Latin for Black Raven.
Okay.
All right.
Corvus, Latin for Black Raven. So if I say I want Corvus, but it's not everywhere. And so I'm not going to carry stuff around with me. So I have to have, what are my options? And it got to a point to where, everybody was drinking Grey Goose and everybody was on it, but it was like, for me, I didn't receive it well. So I would just say, nah, I'll pass.
Okay.
I'll pass,
Okay.
And you get put in that situation, and then once you get on, you say I have Tito's, I have Kettle, something that's similar, and the feeling after drinking those, it didn't set me back.
Okay.
And so that's what made me say, hey, because I was never a drinker. I never was a drinker. So when you start, you say you want to stay within, this certain little, this little pocket, because I'm gonna put more cranberry in my drink than vodka anyway.
Right.
And so that's what made me stay in that spot right there. So it's like, if you was everywhere, and hopefully we're gonna help as much as we can to get you everywhere. Like this whole weekend, I've been drinking this, feeling good, no problems, everything's good. But it goes back to what you were saying earlier. Getting out there, being able to put it on display, get people to recognize that this thing right here is actually good.
Right, and that's the problem. That's why I'm concentrating at home in New England, where I at least have a chance where I can get it distributed, because through 6 states. And the one thing that's different with, me being a patriot, when they say the New England Patriots, we represent 6 states. But, when you're talking about any other city, when you're, Indianapolis, that's Indiana.
Right.
You know what I mean? Y'all represent that. Pittsburgh, they represent Pennsylvania. But New England, we have, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Hampshire,
Delaware.
Vermont, and Maine.
Is Delaware there?
No.
Where's Delaware?
No. Delaware is south. That's right past Pennsylvania, right under Philly.
Oh.
So New England represents 6 states. So I got 6 states that, support me, and that's where I'm working there, because I can't be but so many places. If I had a doppelganger or something, that'd be one thing. So right in that little pocket, if I win there, I feel like I can be successful in Ganfall, and then the things will branch out, from there. Tito started off in Texas. Texas is his own little country. He had to win Texas first to win everywhere else. You know what I mean? And I think, we had to win the fans over in New England before we won, fans everywhere else. You know what I mean? To then look at it, you got to win the home games, bro. You know what I mean?
You got to win at home.
You win at home, you got a chance
Football
on the road.
Analogy. See,
exactly. You win at home.
Always bring it back to football.
Yeah, exactly. And I do it every damn time, man, because I don't know no other way.
And it works, and football is life.
Yeah, exactly.
Football is life.
Exactly, bro.
So where to go at? I think we kind of covered everything. I was trying to cover everything.
No, it's good, solid. I would just say, try to wrap it up in some way. So you might want to ask like one last question.
Okay.
Then,
okay, I know. So we'll get ready to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could talk. What about like leisure or something like that?
No, I don't. I'll go back, and I'll go back to football.
Okay. All right.
And so we'll. Okay, I got it. Being that you had success and all your travels, there's certain things that kind of stand out from a quote? Give me one quote that you took with you throughout the years, or that you've picked up, and it's like your go-to. What is a quote coming from Taiwan Law?
See, I've heard so many quotes that you can relate to different things, but one thing my grandfather always told me, you know, how are you going to expect anyone else to believe in you when you don't truly believe in yourself? So that whole bet on myself thing came, it has layers to it. But my grandfather always said that if you don't believe in you, ain't nobody else gonna believe in you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even though they want to get in. And he was saying that, parents will tell you, I believe in you. I believe in you. You're supposed to tell your kids that, and that's true. But he was real with me. Right. He said, yes, I believe in you, but how do you expect anybody else to believe in you outside of me? Basically saying that no matter what, if I don't believe in myself. So I kind of took that, to with me everywhere I go. I got to believe in me. When you have doubt, yes, you need other people to help lift you up. But I think it's most important that internally you believe in what you're doing. I wouldn't be out here like I am or being as confident in my thing or just trying to be a salesman if I didn't believe in my product.
Right.
I really believe that I got the best vodka out there on the market. I truly believe that 100%. And hopefully I can convey that when you see me and how passionate I am about it. I really believe that I was the best goddamn cornerback on the field at all times. I don't care who was on the other side of me. I don't care if we had the Pro Bowl and you got all these accolades or got all that accolades. And look, I played, 1 year with the great Champ Bailey, and he was a dog. I played with Darrell Reeves on the same field. He is a dog. And they both here in the same room, first ballot. I felt that I was the best cornerback on the damn field. That's what I told myself, and that's what I really believed. Not saying that, that I'm better than them, but on this day,
right.
I'm the guy.
No, it's true. You have to believe in yourself, exactly. And I like that. And so, man, I appreciate you coming on the Create Life podcast. But before we wrap it up, I always like to ask a couple of questions. Like, okay, you play with one of the greatest. Mm-hmm. I play with one of the greatest. Mm-hmm. Who do you think is the greatest quarterback? Out of Peyton or Brady?
Boy, this man done drank too much damn Corvus, man. Come on, man. Yeah, man, look.
We'll never get to agree.
No, you cannot sit there and say that. That's, to me.
That's my boy.
Hey, I know that's your boy. That's not even a conversation. For me, it's like Tom Brady is the GOAT, and it's a hierarchy, like Prime said, it's a hierarchy when they're even in the Hall of Fame. You remember, how Jim Brown, you gave him that kind of respect. And when he was up in, the late great Jim Brown, Tom Brady, it's not even a conversation when it comes to quarterback. It's not even an argument. Like,
it's definitely a conversation.
No, it's not. How's it a conversation?
It's a conversation.
It can't be because look at what he owns every damn record. He got the most wins.
But everybody's situation is different. But
okay,
I like P Money.
You give
Tom Brady
money. I'm gonna drop the mic on this shit.
You better say you give Tom Brady all this.
You give, right? No, okay, you give Tom Brady, Edgerrin James, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison.
Then you won't have that system. You won't have that little system. No,
if you gave him
a system where you gotta just come in there and be a guy.
If you could not, and I don't take anything away from my teammates, love him because we were a team, but Tom Brady was able to do more with less than any quarterback and be the most successful quarterback in NFL history. The time that you gave him a Randy Moss broke the record. The one time that you give this man, somebody of that caliber of talent, he goes out there and break it. But for him to stay for us that long in the game, to be on top of his game, I think it's just unmatched. And this whole Patrick Mahomes thing coming up, and that's the only thing compared. But you got a long way to go. I mean, you got to get Joe Montana first. Pat Mahomes, you got to get Joe Montana for you even to think about talking about Tom.
Well, first of all, when it comes to me, I ride with my boys. So I'm never gonna be somebody to even put in.
See, I got to put it in the
perspective. Even question.
I got to put it in perspective so EJ can understand. So
okay,
all right. If you look at somebody's history, we talking about business. If you're gonna go with a CEO and you're gonna invest your money and your time.
I know where you're going at with this. I know where you're going at with this, but I'm good with my boy. I don't go against.
I ain't saying you can't have success, but I'm saying if you don't know them and you look at the track record of their company.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not going. That's why I said I'm not the person to really use that analogy on, because regardless of whatever.
Oh, damn it. I'm talking about a conversation standing on business. Like you say, standing on business. You know good and goddamn well.
You know what we're going to do since we both played with, like, it's like in Aliquippa, I know y'all got the laws over here and the other people over here. You ain't never going against the laws, right? Even if the laws are wrong.
If I'm standing on business and look.
I ain't going against the James.
Huh? No, I'm gonna stand with family, but I'm also real. If somebody in my family, hey, oh, that mother better you, dog.
Hey,
I'm gonna tell him.
I ain't gonna say it in public.
Huh?
I ain't gonna say it in public. I'm gonna pull you to the side and be like, hey, you know you did.
Hey,
I'm gonna pull you to the side, but like, so I'm like, that's just me. I'm riding out with my people.
I know. I mean, you supposed
this what I do. We'll take it somewhere else. Okay. We'll take it somewhere else. Okay, Jordan, LeBron, who's the GOAT?
That's a better argument with the shit you came up with before. That's a better argument as far as I'm concerned, because guess what? Now, I'm a LeBron fan. But I'm more of a Michael Jordan fan. I think what Michael Jordan do, I've seen so many different things that he done something only done 4 times in the history of NBA, all these titles now. They was all done by Michael Jordan 4 times. So for me, for what he's done to the game and who we all still wearing the shoes and just his impact and is Michael Jordan. But there is a argument, because I am a huge fan of LeBron James. It is a argument that you can say, a legit argument, no, LeBron James is GOAT. Have we ever seen a freak like that? Have we ever seen the scoring titles up there and assists? He's up there and done everything, and just a good human being, advocate for everything. Things that Michael Jordan probably didn't stand for as far as using his platform. I respect the hell out of LeBron James for using his platform and not backing down, bringing up so many different issues where he was able to address and not be afraid to get canceled or anything like that. So that's a hell of an argument. But I'm a Jordan. But I'm a Jordan. Type of guy.
I like the way you put it. That was better, because we're both gonna be biased on the first one.
Yeah.
This one right here, that's more fair. And your answer was a businessman answer.
Yeah.
That was real.
Yeah,
that was real business-like, because some people just get in here and they just go stuck on their way.
No. I mean, because like when people say, of course, like I said, I lean, Jordan myself, but my favorite player that I hate that is like not ever in the conversation is something about Kobe Bryant to me. I'm a Kobe fan, man.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know if it's a PA boy thing or whatnot, but Kobe was a dog, man. Yeah. People leave him out the conversation like, hold on now. And that's what I think. You can have so many people in that GOAT basketball conversation. You got a couple guys that you can put up in there.
Okay, I got
football quarterback. You can't. Ain't nobody close.
My last one, Barry or Emmett.
Whew. You know what? Man, Barry Sanders did stuff that you just can't do. And like I said, Emmett is great all-time leading rusher in the history of the game, but you also think like, man, if Barry Sanders had a damn line,
but would he be Barry? Would he be Barry if he had a line?
Man, cause you know what? You see how many ankles he broke of the skill position guys out there, man. Come on, man.
That what made him have to be so creative. Right. That gave him a chance to show you how special he was.
Exactly. But I think that if you just always got him to the second level, and being able to work from there instead of having to do all that shit behind the line of scrimmage, you get Barry Sanders to the second level, he was going to do some damage. I've always said, my uncle, maybe I'm biased there, but if you give Tony Dorsett a damn line that I've seen some of these other guys have, man, what do you think he'll have? I mean, that's a 185-pound running back, one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion. Give him a line, damn it, he'll have a lot more numbers, but, never take anything away from, a guy like Emmitt Smith, man, because all-time great. But Barry Sanders, Tony Dorsett with a line, shit.
So there you have it, man. Hey, I got my boy Taiwan Law, and he got his Corvus Vodka, he's doing so many things in the industry. That's what Creative Life is about.
Yes.
It's about, showing people, things that you could possibly do, but also give insight. It's always, you can get nuggets from every conversation, every situation. And we're always trying to provide nuggets, and we're always trying to uplift, motivate, inspire anybody that wants to go to another level.
Right.
And I think it's our duty to actually get out and give the information versus keeping it to ourselves. And today, that was very informative. I learned a lot about vodka.
Yeah.
So
no, but really, like, for what you doing, well, what you doing with this podcast, creating this platform, like I said, you creating a life, but you creating another outlet. And I think that I should say that you change how people, perceive you by being more out there, open. No one expected, just because, you're a running back, you from the U, with the goals and all that, to be as smart, knowledgeable and articulate, as you are, because of perception. But I've known you all the time, but, when people ask about you, man, EJ smart as well. Don't get fooled by that shit.
But that's but that's part. That's always been part of my MO.
Right.
Like, you can give them that. It's like I always, like, one of the books that I always read, or that I've read in the past, play a sucker to catch a sucker, from 48 Laws of Power. So it's like, let them be the fool. Let everybody think they have one up on you.
Yeah.
But I'm always in the lab. I'm always doing what I'm supposed to do. And this journey, especially being an athlete and be able to be in the different rooms and travel and you have a chance to shake hands with billionaires and millionaires.
Exactly.
You get clues, and all you do is, you're just a messenger.
Just
you go back and get the information.
Exactly.
Go give it back.
Right. And the way, you articulate in your thought process, because I've checked it out when you've talked to other people and just thought myself, just knowing you over the years, man. Hey, you doing your damn thing, man. And I appreciate the opportunity to, to highlight, Corvus. Hopefully I can count on you to drink the shit. You know what I'm saying?
When I go to, in the clubs, I need to have some Corvus.
That's all I can ask for, man. I appreciate it, brother.
We got Tyler Law on Creative Life Podcast, man. HOF number
323.
336-323, and we out.